You're listening to the Noisy Neighbours podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Noisy Neighbours podcast. Do not adjust your sets. I am Joey McCune. I will be your host. This on my face is not a bit, so that's tough. That kind of sucks. We've had a good few weeks here at Noisy Neighbours, obviously. So we had Mulv had the Ronies a while back. Then the dog died, and now I've got an eyeball that doesn't work. So that's what's up. Is the sound coming through okay? Are we lagging? Cycle, yeah, that's fair. I'll take that. So yeah, had a don't know if this is, basically I've got underneath this thing, I've got a real what's the guy, a real Quasimodo situation happening, which is tight. So have that going on. Woke up this morning, this thing was swollen shut. The mic's distorted. Okay, hold on. Just kidding. All right. So yeah, woke up. This thing was swollen shut. I think I got some insulation in there the other day. So yeah, really having a killer time, crushing it. Obviously, this is the Noisy Neighbours podcast. This is the live Friday call-in show ahead of the Derby. Bear with me as this goes. Mulv is on assignment being a good dad. So shout out him. His kid's playing on varsity, I think. So that's pretty tight. Yeah, Derby's coming up this weekend. If you haven't been here for these before, it's pretty simple. So we'll get our little plugs out of the way. What I'm going to do after that is I'll drop a link into the chat. That link will, if you want to call in, you can click on that thing. It'll take you to a browser. All you got to do is type your name in. Make sure you've got if you've got headphones and then, with a mic on them, that usually works best. But if not, the app does a pretty good job of filtering out any echoes and stuff. Cool. Sorry. Again, doing this solo and only got one eyeball, so bear with me. So it's kind of going to be a free-for-all. We're going to talk about the Derby, obviously, but I've been dealing with this for a day or two. This morning I woke up, it was closed, so haven't really had a ton of time to prep. My bad. Before we get into it, we have to thank, as always, the fine folks over at Manscaped, who, for some reason, continue to support the Noisy Neighbours. Get prepared for St. Patrick's Day with a Manscaped. If you're going to get a little lucky, Manscaped is the global leader in below-the-waist grooming and the official sponsor of the Noisy Neighbours podcast. Again, I'm trying to read this with one eye. Actually, yes, I am. I am both Slick Rick and I think Fetty Wap's only got one eye. So I am both of them. To ensure that you have the best tools for your family jewels, visit manscaped.com and use the code NOISYPOD for 20% off and free international shipping. If you get their new bundle, which is the Manscaped Performance Package, all kinds of cool stuff in there. Included in there is the Weed Whacker ear, hair, and nose trimmer, which is waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motor powered by 360-degree rotary blade or dual blade system. Look, guys, 79%, that's a lot. That's almost 80, I think, of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turnoff. So why not use the best tools for the job here? Again, Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer is also in the bundle. #1 trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body. If you're shaving your balls and your butt, good for you for just doing one of them. But if you're getting the butt in there too, wow. I don't know if there's a mirror situation you have to do, or if you just have a trusted partner that does it for you. Either way, congrats on keeping everything nice and smooth. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code NOISYPOD at manscaped.com. Also, every purchase at manscaped.com goes towards contributions to the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code NOISYPOD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code NOISYPOD. There's gold at the end of the rainbow with Manscaped. All right, let's get into this thing. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to drop the link into the chat. I see there are some requests real quick. So, Yarg Mateys, I'll be your captain. I don't know. This is not a Manscaped grooming incident or accident, Spencer. So honestly, I think what happened was, let me drop this link in here. I think what happened was an issue with an attic. Give me a second. Okay, links in the chat now. If you want to join the show, click on that link. It'll take you to a browser. And we'll get you in here. So yeah, I think what happened was I was opening an attic, and somebody had made this kind of like rigged hatch up there. And as soon as I opened it up, a bunch of insulation fell out, and I think some old shingle parts or something. So I'm like this, and it falls right down on my face, and I'm pretty sure some of that got in my eyeball, and it scraped my nose up pretty good. So yeah, I think that's what we're dealing with. As far as I know, I'm not going to lose the eye, so that's nice. But tough few weeks. Oh, we got a caller already. Somebody coming to save my behind. Andrew,
Yo,
dude,
what's up?
how are you?
Good.
Are you better than me?
I mean, if you're so.
You believe this shit?
I literally, so like your countdown starts. I just have my phone on, like checking a couple messages in our pod Slack.
Yeah.
And you appear on the screen, and I just immediately put in the chat, guys, McCune has an eye patch.
Yeah. What can I say?
Yeah.
Things are going good, obviously.
Hey, I mean, you're here. I'd say, pour one out for the pup, but it doesn't look like either of us are drinking things we should pour out in a home.
Absolutely not. No. And really, at this point, I'm just trying to. I've got my desk set up just in a way that I won't knock many things over. Because there's nothing. I can't see anything down this way. And even if I take this off, it's pretty much a blurry mess anyways. So I'm just trying to keep everything that's somewhat in reach, but not so much in reach that shit just goes flying off the desk or like all over the mixer or the computer underneath.
I've been there, man. Surprising no one, I was in marching band in high school, and because it was marching band in the Midwest, corn everywhere, right? So,
you guys played a lot of heavy metal.
Yeah,
nice.
Lots of heavy metal. Yeah, it was great. And your boy has hay fever, and so one day I got home from practice. I was just dead tired, slept didn't change, didn't shower, just collapsed on bed. Fell asleep. Woke up the next day. Couldn't see at all. Just total, entire face was swollen. So I've been there where you're like, well, I can't do anything that I was planning on today because I literally can't see.
Yeah, it's I've had a better time,
right?
Than this. This was a surprise. You wake up, your eyeballs swollen shut.
Yeah.
I got the day off, obviously, so that was nice. I'm back to work tomorrow, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, rest in peace to the people whose homes you're inspecting tomorrow, because 50-50 chance you see something.
I hope the houses are small. I'll tell you that much. So, what do you want to talk about, dude?
I mean, it's kind of, I feel like all the pods have talked about this lately.
Uh-huh.
And it feels like the most cocky thing to say in the world, but we're running out of things to talk about.
Right.
Because everything is just going so well.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, the thing for me though is how do we view this game in reality?
Yeah.
Because it's Derby, we want to win it, but in reality, it's pretty league games are now the least consequential games left on the calendar. And so really what it should be is how do you prepare for the other competitions, and how do you rotate to keep everybody fresh so that you have strong lineups?
Yeah.
So like, I personally, like, I want to smash United because it'll be hilarious to do so.
Obviously.
Downside is, what if we inadvertently get Ole fired? Because I feel like that's the best thing that's happening for us right now, is that they have a gym teacher as manager.
So I don't know that Ed Woodward has the stones to do it. And I also don't know. I don't know who's. They missed their chance on getting either of the managers they could have gotten. Right? They could have gotten Pochettino and they could have gotten Tuchel, and they did a massive swing and miss on both because Ole was doing good. Question mark.
I mean, he has this knack for going on runs at the most inopportune times for United.
Yeah. It is. He is a genius. He might be the number one guy at keeping his job just in that manner, where it's like, yeah. Look, I know things aren't great right now, but we're in second.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Look at everybody else.
Guy who, like, the 2 months before year-end reviews is just like doing everything he has to, so that when they walk in, they're like, oh yeah, he always does his things. And then the moment that review is over, he's like, I'm just gonna coast.
Yeah, I'm done now. I'm done. Actually, is the thing. Yeah. So going into the derby, like you said, City flying high. United have drawn 3 of their last 5. Their last wins were against Sociedad and Newcastle. Like you said, it's kind of been done to death, but I'm assuming you're feeling confident. I mean, there's City, as far as I know, City have a clean health record, like including Ake.
Ake's back. It said fully fit squad, which, knock on wood, because I don't think I've ever uttered that phrase as a City fan over the past like 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time, dude.
I guess it helps that we don't have perpetually injured Vincent Kompany and Iliquium Mangala. And I guess Mendy doesn't count as a player anymore, so like it's fine if he can't really play.
True. Yeah.
So I mean, that all helps, but yeah, I mean, it's just like we were talking about it, or I was, I guess. We had a United fan on to do kind of like a fun American, like, how do we view the derby pod, and like, you
didn't just scream at him and call him the C word the whole time?
No, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
You guys are better than me. I would have lasted about 20 minutes.
Jer equally was very skeptical of the idea of having anyone on. But he tweeted today that, like, this is their Champions League final. And I just responded to it of like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Because that's how it used to be for us. Like, our delay, United winning the title like by a week.
True.
And now, like, I asked him his like favorite derby moments. And one of them was Paul Pogba just making it so that United losing to West Brom was how we won the title, rather than us beating them.
Yeah,
like that's a top. I mean, it sucked for us, but like the fact that that's like a high point over the last like 10 years for him.
Yeah.
Like, that's just sad.
How the mighty have fallen, dude.
Yeah,
like they're second, but I mean, really, if you look at how they're playing, they're not playing like a second place team. I've told Mulv this a bunch of times. Like, they don't know. I don't think I've seen them convincingly beat a top team.
They didn't even convincingly beat Southampton.
Yeah. Like, outside of 1 or 2 matches, there's just nothing in that side. I mean, if the team that started against Palace and drew 0-0 is a team that included Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, and Cavani. All them boys. Ken has goals.
It doesn't help that Ole basically is doing a Klopp impression where he doesn't rotate.
True.
And so he's running all of their players that are in any way serviceable into the ground. And because they are a team based on individuals and not a system, that sort becomes of style. Problematic. Like, when your offensive system is Bruno Fernandes does Bruno Fernandes type things, and Rashford gets on the end of it and finishes, and Harry Maguire does last ditch defending. Well, when those 3 guys are all on like the 3,000 minute mark, that's a real problem later down the road.
Yeah, it can be problematic, I think.
Yeah, like, particularly when all the matches are on top of one another.
Yeah,
like it's one thing to play every match in a normal season. It's another thing to play every match when it's like okay, we're playing Wednesday and then Sunday and then Tuesday and then Friday. And
well, now they've got Milan. Like that was worst case scenario in Europa League. Like one, you're in Europa League, so that's a bad start already. And then you get drawn against AC Milan, who has had a bit of a renaissance this year. They're going to make it difficult for United. Yeah. It's just bad all around.
All I want out of that match is Lukaku to just dunk on them. Like 4 or 5 goals across the 2 legs. Just like a couple headers, like right in Maguire's face.
You got the wrong Milan, dude. You mixed up your Milans.
Oh, no.
Very
You're
embarrassing.
right. Yeah, I know.
There's a bunch of people somewhere right now just doing this angrily at the TV.
Go Richie.
Yeah, he's furious. All right, Andrew, we're backed up, dude. I got a bunch of people here.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much for leading this thing off. I appreciate you. Don't drink that whole bottle of wine before 9, and I will catch you later, buddy. Thank you so much. Andrew Detmer, Main Road Ramble, the man. Okay, we got more folks lined up. Let's see here. Coming up next, I can't read any of these names until they show up. Mike.
Joey, how's it going?
Obviously awesome.
Yeah, you look great.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm doing, I think, a bit better than you. So
fair. That's fair.
Can't complain, but yeah, everything's good here in the northern region here in Toronto. So
yeah,
trying to stay warm. But
it was like almost 60 here yesterday, which I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it was freaking nice.
Yeah, I think it was -5 here, so a bit colder.
What do you want to talk about, dude?
I got a couple things. I had to write it down just so I could remember it all. First of all, a player that I've kind of slagged off, been increasingly frustrated with over the past couple seasons, Mahrez. He is just killing it right now, just on fire. His last game against Wolves, got the awesome assist off that Dendoncker, bullet.
Dendoncker had a rough one.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. Even the name, I think you guys were making fun of him on the last wall.
Yeah.
Was it Mauve?
Yeah.
And then he got the hockey assist to Bernardo for that VAR letdown. So that's I had to admit I was losing it at that point. I just, those decisions are just driving me wild. I was so amped. And then
did you see I'm assuming you saw the news, was it yesterday or this morning?
Yeah, the rule change.
They're changing the rules like July 1st or something.
That's typical.
You know how bad you got to screw up a ruling that within, I don't know, a year of you implementing it, everyone's gotten so pissed off that you're like, actually, we're going to change this worldwide. It's been done so poorly that the entire planet has to change now.
It's funny how
we've done such a bad job.
It can happen to us so many times, and once it happens to other teams kind of in the league, and I don't know, I kind of believe in this city conspiracy a bit, but I think if it was just us, it wouldn't they would have kept it. So, but hey, if it's in spirit with the game, I guess, or whatever the statement they're making it makes sense, because I don't know, those lines are crazy. Like they're pointing in between his elbow and his shoulder.
I don't get it. Yeah. We talked about it on the show, and Mulv talked about the foot rule. And the more I think about it, I think if you go with a foot or a head, I'm happy. But this whole thing of like drawing, his armpit or something like that, any part of his arm, none of it makes any damn sense. So dumb it down. Sure. Doesn't need to be this involved. Go with the thing most goals are scored with, and we'll call it even.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Anything's better than what they've been doing with these lines. It's like, down to like a science that they're trying to do it, some kind of complex math equation. But it doesn't help showing us either. I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't want to see it if they're gonna mess it up. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
But another thing I wanted to talk about is Rodri, because I just love Rodri. He's been killing it.
Awesome. Yeah, hell yeah.
Making tackles, like just spraying balls all over the place. He had a great ball out to Mahrez for, the first goal, kind of lost Dendoncker there. So
he had a big part in 2 goals in that match, I believe. First one and the third one, I think.
Yeah, so he's like all over the pitch, making tackles upfield.
Yeah.
And not being really caught out of position too much. And when he's up there, he's making use of his time. So he's been killing it. I love him. I know he's kind of had some stick, but
Mulva's supposed to be watching his son play soccer right now, and he's too busy. He's too busy being a smart ass on the internet. You believe this guy? Absolute clown.
Oh wow. He's I guess
he's a bad friend.
Yeah, well, it's all right. We'll forgive him. I was looking forward to talking to him last time he wasn't here as well. He jumped on right after, but
I think he knows. I think he knows when there's going to be like a heavy Canadian contingent.
Yeah,
he talks in in WhatsApp. He's real anti-Canadian. I don't get it.
Wow,
but
come on, we're nice people.
That's what I keep trying to tell him, but I don't know. He's weird about it. So you've mentioned Mars and you mentioned Rodri. We're probably going to talk a million different lineups in this show because it's a derby and everyone's going to have their own little thing. Do you think both of them start on Sunday?
I think they deserve to start. I think we should go there. We should definitely go and try to win the game because this United side isn't particularly great. You can tell their confidence has dropped. Even the coach is talking about, well, it's lucky that we're in second or, we're doing well, which I guess is true from where they were last year. Still kind of all over the place, but so are a lot of teams. I would say, I don't know. I love me a Fernandinho in these games. I'm very with Mulv, and I know he loves the guy. I know we all do. So he's just a battering ram. I think I don't even know. When he was playing center back last year, I didn't imagine him being able to go back to the midfield. I just thought his pace was gone, but maybe having that extra space to kind of make a run and, not having to be the last guy just lets him take control. And he's been spraying passes again. Like, give that guy like 2 more years. Give him a contract. Like, please. I can't. I want to see him stay. So I love.
So you're saying let's Tom Brady him. Let's get him to like 43. Yeah. Okay.
I'm in. You know what? He'll probably take a pay cut. I mean, that guy, paid a decent percentage of his fee coming over, right?
Yeah.
I think a few million, 3-4 million, something like that. So.
What do you think about? What do you think about the possibility of like offering some sort of player coach role?
Yeah,
to extend his contract in that way to where, even if it becomes a situation where we don't play him a whole bunch, at least we're getting our money's worth because he's heavily involved in either the first team setup or, the U18s or U23s or something like that. Would you be down with something like that?
Oh, for sure. I think everyone knows about kind of his little speech where he gathered all the players up after, what was it? Was it the Tottenham game or one of the losses? Yeah, and just kind of rallied the team, even though he wasn't playing all that much. Like, I think he is a born leader. I think he's a smart guy. The way he reads the game, I don't understand how he does it. He gets away with little things. He knows when to press, when to absolutely annihilate someone. He's got some little tricky Brazilian flair to him too, I think. So. Yeah. I would whatever if he wants to be a kit man, let him do it. Give him the job. You know what I mean? If he wants to sit on a bench and just watch the team train, give him a check. I don't care. The guy, as long as he's going to be happy and play a little bit, I think he deserves that still. Yeah. But he's getting up there. So
yeah. Well, cool. I'm going to let you go here in a second, Mike. Before we do, give me your score prediction for this weekend.
I'm going to go, I'll say 3-1. I'm feeling like there's going to be goals. Yeah, of course. Yes.
I got to check. I'm very impartial.
Yeah. There'll be some dodgy United goal. Something will happen. I don't know. Yeah. Something kind of always does, but I think we'll get some quick goals, hopefully.
Sneaky VAR handball rule.
I don't know. It's out to get it. I mean, when are we going to start being blamed for all the reasons why the rules have changed so much recently? They're going to make a video montage of, blaming us for that. So
yeah, we're the bad guys. You know what I mean?
It's okay. It feels nice. It feels nice to listen to these illusions of everybody else and knowing that our clubs run well and, by a lot of smart people. So,
Mike, they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, of course.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I guess try being on their end of the stick, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be
shitty down there.
So. Oh, well. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah, Mike, I appreciate you, dude. There you go. Mike from Toronto. We're just ticking right along here. Everybody's still here. No one's completely grossed out by my face and eye. So that rules. Let's see. Well, we got this man sitting by at the ready. Let's bring him on. Spencer.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, pal?
You know,
Well,
another day, another nickel.
first of all, my condolences to your missus, the loss of her pet,
Cheers.
family member.
Yep. Thank you for that.
Pour one out.
Yep, indeed.
So I wanted to see. I wanted to elaborate a bit on what Andrew was saying with the rotation of the squad.
Okay.
And it's what are your thoughts? I know you said you wanted to start Kevin De Bruyne in the squad on Derby Day. Isn't it fascinating how when we're playing so well as a squad, we can kind of see him almost as extraneous because we've been playing so well without him?
Yeah, 100%. Mulv and I, so before we went on the air the other day, we just recorded it. It's not that big of a deal, idiot. So before we recorded the show, we were just kind of BSing before we hit the go button. And we had texted earlier in the day about okay, have a lineup ready for the Derby because we're going to get to it. And both of us had just kind of all over our 11, just like editing carrots, like this guy, but also maybe not him, maybe somebody else, or this guy over here, but also maybe not him and maybe somebody else. And De Bruyne was one that we both struggled with. The striker position is one we both struggled with. The 6, because he likes Fernandinho in this type of match. I like Rodri. Yeah, it says a ton about not only our squad, but what our manager's been able to do or not by, I should say, what he's been able to do through this period, like regardless of who went down, regardless of how long they went down, regardless of when the matches were, he found new and different ways to just plug players into spots and then create new positions. And still no one's been able to figure it out. We've been bum rushing and dominating almost everyone for, what is it now? March? 3 months? Better part of 3 months. We've been running roughshod over the league.
21 games.
It's it's unbelievable that Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero are legitimately names that if you take the context out of it, should get into any single side in the Premier League and pretty much anywhere else.
Pretty much any league.
Yeah. So the fact that we're going into our big match, the Derby, and we're like, I don't know. Maybe they're on the bench for this one.
It's really amazing because any other team, even us, before 2 or 3 months ago, if we had said, "Oh, I don't know if we should start Aguero or Kevin De Bruyne and play Bernardo instead, or play Phil as a false 9 or somebody," we would have been seen as absolutely off our rockers. So I am going to say that I disagree with starting Kev on Sunday, because he definitely looks like he needs a little more time.
Yeah.
And we can afford that with Southampton and Fulham. Yeah. And if he has a really good game on Wednesday, for example, if he comes on the bench, if he's on the bench on Sunday and he plays really well, he plays really well on Wednesday, then I think he'll have the confidence and the team will have the confidence to play around him against Mönchengladbach, for example, when we play them in the Champions League.
And that's also a match that like is almost a freebie at this point. It's it's crazy the scenario we're in going into April.
I'm not sure if I would. Nothing is a freebie. Yeah, I mean, the longer you're a City fan, the more you know that typical City never goes away.
True.
And so I think for a lot of older fans, we're almost expecting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And we've been so lucky in terms of injuries because in terms of having such a strong rotation. This is something that, Liverpool doesn't have because they don't have the squad. They don't have the depth.
Right.
But Pep really plays the players. He works them really hard. But if someone gets an injury or gets a knock, there's someone else who's world class, ready to pick up from the other person, and then also who's hungry enough to show his worth.
Yeah, 100%.
And prove himself worthy of being in the first squad.
So we got Kevin on the bench. So I think a big debate that's going to go on until the lineups drop is, what do we do up front? Are you saying false nine for this, or are you thinking Gabby's earned it through all the hard work he's put in over the past few months, or do you think Aguero comes back? I mean, like you said, the squad is insane, and no matter who doesn't start this match, it's going to look harsh on somebody. So what's the tough decision, and kind of what is your what's your outlook on what we should do up front? Was it false nine? Is it Gabby? Is it Aguero?
I'd play Gabby. You know what? I have a lot of confidence in him right now. He's been scoring.
Yeah.
And he's been scoring in big games too. These aren't extraneous goals, when we're already up 3 or 4 goals. He's really delivering, and he should be awarded for that. He should be rewarded for that. And it should show, especially because the Rags are, they're not in their strongest place right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've only won 1 game out of their last 5, something like that.
2. Yeah, 2 of them. One of them was against Newcastle, and one was against Real Sociedad.
So, yeah, exactly. So I think Aguero is still pretty injury prone. I wouldn't want him to go up against United, who definitely would have a few bones to pick with him.
Yeah, do a little bit of kicking.
So if City does well, maybe we can play him. We could sub him in the 70th minute or so.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I'll tell you what, Spence, we are backed up again, dude. Luckily, you people have saved me once again. One-eyed McCune over here has a line of people calling. I got to get your score line before we go. So
right.
Give me who your 2 wingers are on the either side of Gabby, and then tell me your score line.
I would have Bernardo and Raheem.
Ooh, no Phil.
I would have Phil playing Kev's normal spot in the mid.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah,
you've redeemed yourself. What's your score line, buddy?
Glory Hunter, plastic lately. Score line's 3-1 City.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's 2 3-1s. So we're looking pretty good. Spencer, again, thank you so much for calling, dude. I appreciate you. I appreciate the kind words. We will chat again soon, I'm sure.
Take it easy, buddy.
I will try. Spencer from New York, everyone. Okay. We keep on rolling. Sorry, I have to look over to this side because my main monitor is on that side, and that's where I have to do all the clicking bits. Normally if Mul's here, he does the clicky stuff, and I just have to look straight ahead. But since no periph, whole head has to turn. Really good professional broadcasting, and that's what you guys all came here for. Okay, next up. Scott. Dude, how are you?
Joey, how's it going?
Another day in paradise. How's things?
Good. Yeah, I've been keeping busy. Looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Oh, hell yeah. So what's What's your general kind of feeling going into this thing?
With City having won 21 in a row, it's hard not to feel some confidence.
Fair, that's fair.
And I think that honestly, I think that the league is done and dusted if City wins.
Oh, I like that. It's hard to be too down on them, Like
right?
It's hard to look at this team and then which version of United's coming up, and then Southampton's the next one, Fulham after that. It just seems like one of these. I don't think the math says so yet, but it just seems like you win this one, and it's got to be over, right? Who the hell? If the only team that's near us loses, who the hell is going to catch us? Ain't Leicester, because they're falling apart. Right.
Yeah, and you see teams, down lower in the table, they just keep dropping points, and so, to me, I kind of have the feeling with as far as the Premier League goes that it's a matter of when and not if.
Right. So, speaking of the Premier League, because City and United is going to dominate kind of everything that's gone on over the past few weeks, especially with some boring matches between bigger clubs that's happened recently. Looking at potentially the worst champions of all time, Liverpool. Do you think? I feel like this is going to be a real softball pitch here. So do you think this is all down to injuries, or do you think there's something else going on that side's falling apart? Because Klopp has only gotten more and more, snippy,
right,
as the weeks have gone on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the wind was blowing really, really hard. So
it's windy, it's cold. There's so many problems.
Right. The grass is too long. Obviously the injuries have really, really hurt Liverpool. Van Dijk is an incredible player, and losing him, it's just like to me, when I hear people talk about Liverpool and the injuries, I think back to last year when Laporte was out for the vast majority of the year. Yep. Leroy Sané, who the year before had been an important contributor, he got hurt in the Community Shield, so he hadn't even played a game. So by the beginning of August, he was done. So that's a couple of key players that are gone for a long period of time, right there. And City still did pretty well. They weren't. Honestly, at this point, if Liverpool keeps going the way they are, they might not even qualify for the Europa League.
Which, that's
insane.
Not only is it insane, but that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny sentence, huh?
It is.
Champions that ran away with the league. So much so that in December of last year, everyone was like, yo, this is done. Like, no one's going to catch them. They're so much better than everybody.
Right.
Fast forward 14 months, and everyone's like, yo, they might not make it into Europe.
Right.
Like, this is a team that, they're going to be battling out. They're going to have the same transfer targets as teams like Crystal Palace and Wolves.
Well, and not only that, but I think if they miss out on Europe, what are the odds that Salah stays around? Or Salah, some of the other key players, right? Yeah, I think, right. Yeah, that's. I think Liverpool kind of had their rise where, they missed out on the league by 1 point, and then they had a great year. More power to them. They won the league last year, but they're not anything close to a dynasty.
No, not at all. Because there's no consistency to it. I also don't get the. Sorry, I have to keep fudging with this thing. I don't get the kind of woe is me thing that their fans have been playing. We're like, oh, well, City have all this money,
right?
Dude, you won the Champions League and the Premier League in back-to-back years. You think that's free? You think you just get a trophy for that? You get hundreds of millions of dollars that you can spend. Yeah. You want to talk about spending money you earned? You ain't going to get no more than that. Spend that money.
Right. Well, that's the thing with City is with the players that they've bought over the last number of years, and I mean they've broken their transfer record and they've spent some money on some players, and they've spent a lot of money on their defense, but I think they've really made a concerted effort. There were a couple of players like with Koulibaly and some of these other players where these teams felt like they could hold City to ransom because everyone knew that they needed a center back, and City just wasn't going to play that game. They weren't going to, they had a valuation for a certain player and they weren't going to exceed that. And I respect that.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, it has, as much as I bitched about it when it was going on, it has worked out just fine. So, all's well that ends well, I suppose, but it is a pain in the ass going through it. You just wanted to cross the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say it's worked out pretty well with Ruben Diaz. That's been quite a signing.
Yeah, it's worked out okay. So it is Derby weekend, obviously. We haven't talked to anybody yet about what we should do at the back. Obviously, Ederson starts in goal, or Scott Carson. That's kind of the toss up, but I think Ederson will get the nod. What do you think? I would say, what do you think Pep will do? What do you want to see happen with the back four?
Well, I am glad to see Laporte getting some more game time recently, but I think that City's strongest back four at this point is Walker, Stones, Diaz, and Cancelo.
Yeah. So you think so you got Cancelo at left back. You think Zinchenko? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, he, I watched a game. I can't remember which one it was. It was within the last couple of weeks where Cancelo was playing at left back, and he was missing a lot of passes. It was clear that he's not as comfortable on the left as he is on the right. But I still think that what he brings to the table is, I think that's their strongest back four.
Okay, so you're saying. All right, so Walker, Diaz, Stones, Cancelo, and then do you have Rodri or Fernandinho in this game as the holding midfielder?
That's a tough call. Rodri, and I know that you and Mulv have talked a lot about the combination of Rodri and Gundogan, but man, they've the two of them together have been really, really good lately, and so I think that's probably the strongest double pivot there.
Got to start Mr. Whippy.
Right.
He's the man. He's the man. All right, Scott. We are, again, this is like the last time we did this where there's just people lined up. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for calling. Before I let you go, what's your score line?
I'm going to say 2-1 City.
2-1. So still optimistic, but one goal less optimistic than the other guys. Okay, that's fair.
Right.
It's still Joey. A win. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All right, take care.
See ya. Hell yeah. We're hitting the East Coast pretty hard. Let's see. Coming up next. Holy cow. This guy might be upside down. Ian's calling from Perth, Australia. What is it?
Morning, Joey.
Thursday there?
Okay.
Morning, so it's just tomorrow. I never know. The time travel thing throws me off.
Yeah, I have that trouble during the week. I have many calls with the US people, and it's always I've got a bracket in the morning. It's like between 6:30 in the morning till about 8 is kind of my usual time I can speak to you guys.
Yeah, it's I'm doing all right. The eye thing's kind of annoying, but I'm making do. Hopefully this is only a couple days.
That's what United seem to be doing at the moment.
You ain't kidding. So what do you want to talk about, man?
I guess you covered a lot already with the previous callers, but I guess the way I think Pep is looking at this game is you've got a combination of defense or midfield to combat one little thing that United could do to us. And we've seen what they do. They've just got a weak counter-attack.
Yeah.
They don't like having the ball because they don't know what to do with it. They haven't got the players with the skill set to do something with it. So they just knock it up forward and see what happens. So I guess, we previous callers, Dave spoke about defense. Is it Cancelo and Walker or Zinchenko?
Yeah.
I think you need to have some pace either in the defense or some pace in midfield. And I probably would go with a pace in defense.
Right.
That would allow us to have Kevin in midfield. Because I think we could carry him. If you've got Walker on the right, I would put Cancelo over to the left because he can, that extra body in midfield, he could carry the ball. He could do all sorts of stuff with that. And they won't have a clue what he's doing. So, yeah, I'd put Walker at the back. That question between Ferner or Rodri.
Right.
I think I'd probably like Ferner. It might be his last derby. He could just sit on Fernandes, and just pummel him.
Well, and Bruno's kind of shown in the last few matches against bigger sides that he does tend to fall off a cliff.
He goes missing, doesn't he? You just put somebody around him, give him a bit of a knock in the first few minutes. You stay there.
And I do
you out.
It would be funny if Cancelo starts on the left. I do think it is funny watch the thought of like Luke Shaw or Fred or Matic having to chase Cancelo all over the pitch and figure out like
a shadow.
Then what happens? Like Gundogan still exists over there, and if it's Foden or Raheem or anybody else on the left, it is just it's a bunch of headless chickens over there. It seems like, and they've paid so much money for a lot of these guys, and I don't know how United. I can't think of a way that United could set up that's actually going to trouble us. It's a very strange feeling. I don't like it. I prefer to be sick to my stomach.
I've just put on the BBC website. They've got a combined Manchester 11. You can add in. How many United players got in mind?
Shouldn't be any.
There wasn't any.
Yeah.
there isn't anybody on United's team that could get into our team. So it's simple. And if you look at their defense, there's so much mistakes in their defense that we're just kind of a field day. And to be honest, the front three could be anything.
Right.
This time last year, we would go at the beginning of a game and we'd have a certain number of players that would say these are starters. So it would be Edison, it would be Laporte, it would be Rodri, it would be Kevin, it would be Kun, Raz. I think those definite starters, the number are a lot lower now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Mr. Whippy.
Yep.
You've got Stones and Diaz and Edison and everybody else. It's interchangeable, and you don't have any drop off.
So what do you? So in your starting 11, you're going to have. I'm talking like the front five here, right? So Gundogan will be in there.
Gundogan will be there, and I think we could carry Kev.
So Gundogan and Kev.
I think he'll enjoy himself because I think he'll have the space to enjoy himself.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen in the last couple of games he's had some short passing range a little bit off, but he'd still be putting through some of them Kev balls that would call the balls that nobody else can ever do. But
who do you have
able to put a few through?
Who do you have in the front three running onto those?
Whew.
Yeah.
Anybody?
We ask the tough questions.
I think Mahrez. I think he deserves because Mahrez seems to be over his time at City. He's had a few games that are good, and then he has a dwell time, and then he has a few more games that are good. And at the minute, he's on the back of some good games. So I think let's give him, let him have another game and see how he goes. I think he deserves it. And what United don't like is players running with the ball into the box, and
True.
Raz and Miraz, they do it all the time.
Yep.
And Lindelof, Maguire, they just have a nightmare, them two doing that. And then in the middle, we know Kun loves scoring against United, and this could be his last derby. I think we've got the structure in how we play to carry anybody really. But Gabby deserves it. Foden, we know how much Derby means to him. He's from Manchester, so you know, it could be anybody, and I wouldn't mind. Like we said 12 months ago, sometimes we'd be losing our shit at the beginning of a game when we see the lineup and we think, Pep, what are you doing? What have you put him in for? Now it doesn't matter. Anybody that gets put in that team, we know we just got to pummel anybody.
As long there's one name I can think of that would make me lose my mind, but we don't mention it anymore on this show. So
he that should not be mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be named. So before I let you go here, Ian, let me give you a hypothetical here. So say City win this weekend. We go to 68 points. United would be on 51, Leicester on 50, Chelsea on 47, Everton on 46, West Ham 45, Liverpool 43. You keep going down there. Who do you think actually makes it into this top four? So City are clear. Yeah. Leicester are kind of falling off. Chelsea's starting to become a team again. West Ham and Everton are just
to get their shit together.
West Ham and Everton are just giant question marks, I feel like, week to week. Liverpool are seemingly shit.
Seemingly, they are. That's just been a combination of mismanagement over the last 3-4 years from Klopp, and they can't see it. You know, he's run them players into the ground. That's why they can't play this year. Mm-hmm. We had our low moment last season after 2 seasons of immense playing and, you know, over 100 points. And we had a low season, but we still came second.
Yeah.
They've run their players into the ground. I know they've had injuries, but so have many other teams as well.
Yeah.
But there's no fuel in the tank anymore on any of them. They've got infighting. Well, you know, tough shit.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've you know the worst title defense ever. Chelsea, I think, they're getting strong. They're coming into it. Leicester, I think they've got too many good players to
really fall off.
Really lose it, really fall off. Yeah. So I think that they will be in there. But United, you know, they've was it drawn the last 2 games?
3.
And then they're going to lose last 3 games. They're going to lose tomorrow.
Yep.
So you know, it comes on. They're losing their way, and once you get into the rut of not winning, especially in a run-in, then I can actually see them fading away. Maybe not fall out of the top 4, but I don't think they're going to come second. I agree with Everton and West Ham, although they're solid in the way that they're set up, and both of those teams gave us a good game, and it wasn't easy for us because they were organised. They've got good managers. Ollie, it's a joke.
West Ham and Everton do seem like 1 or 2 players away from actually being a problem.
Yeah.
Like if they can figure their finances out, they're 1 or 2 players away, because Moyes can get something out of good players.
Yeah.
Ancelotti is Ancelotti. The fact that he's got this group of players doing what they're doing shows you what kind of a manager he is.
But again, they've got, like I say, some good players, which, you know, Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, they could put the ball in the back of the net. So, and their defense is organised.
Yeah,
they're solid. They may not make the top 4 this season, but if they do a couple of additions in the summer, I think they can continue to improve. And it'd be good to see. It'd actually be really, really funny if Everton finish above Liverpool. There's a good chance they'll do that, actually. You know, the shit will be lost in Liverpool if that happened.
From your lips to God's ears. I hope that happens. All right, Ian.
Listening.
Yeah. I mean, we are his favorite team. I'm going to let you go. Before I do, what is your scoreline for, I guess, tomorrow where you're at?
6-0.
6-0. Okay, I'll take it.
I can't see how they can hurt us, and we're just going to have a field day because, you know, they will just keep trying to counter-attack. They'll just leave spaces, and we will just pick them off.
Oh, 6-0 sounds so nice. You know what a good Sunday afternoon that would be for me? God, 6-0. Hell yeah,
Plenty of
Ian.
Guinness. Plenty of Guinness.
I know. I'm gonna have to go get more. Ian, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Holy cow, Australia in the house.
No worries,
Thank
Joey.
you. Thank you, pal. We'll see you.
later.
Damn. That's 2 Australians we've had on this show now. So we are the Mr. Worldwide of city podcasts, I think. We are Pitbull. Coming up next, I can't see. So we'll see who shows up. Tyler, what's up, dude? How are you? You know. Clearly awesome. How are you, buddy?
Doing okay. Pretty confident for Sunday.
It's hard not to be.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about, dude?
Transfers.
Ooh. Yes. Everyone's favorite transfers and kits always get the people moving. So what's your hot gossip, dude? What's the haps?
So I saw from City Extra, I love those guys.
Yep.
They posted like a report of saying like City are targeting like I think a central defensive midfielder, left back, and a striker this upcoming window. Obviously, we're probably not going to sign all 3 of those targets.
Right.
But
if we did.
But you
can hear the piss boiling now.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, this Holland thing is going to drag out for the whole summer, I think.
That story's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is just I didn't click on it right. Fucking finger. This is a cheap joke, Nebs. I even said on the show I wouldn't start. Oh, Aguero, you son of a. I understand kind of why Mulv doesn't like Canada now. So the Holland thing, like you said, it's picking up steam. It's not going away. There's a story out today that we're the only place he's going to go. Nobody else either can afford him or are going to be able to. Basically, people would have to offer him way above, what City could, just in order to kind of pry him away.
Yeah.
So say the Holland thing happens. I'm not too worried about the agent situation with Mino Raiola. I think we're kind of past. I think City as a club is past dealing with that kind of crap. If we want a player, we're going to go get him. Now, as far as, because what else did they say? Left back, right? Or correct?
Yes.
I'm assuming Mendy would have to go out the door and then somebody else comes in, right? Or do you think Zinchenko stays?
I think Zinchenko stays. I think Mendy's pretty much done. It's sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. But I actually just opened up Twitter like a few minutes ago, and I saw we were linked with an Atalanta left back.
Yeah, and I've seen that a couple times, and that's an interesting one, just because of the way that Gasparini has Atalanta play. It is pretty. What he would be asked to do at City isn't too far outside of what he does at Atalanta, so I could go with that. What else you got on that? Do you think there, for you? Do you know of anybody else out there that you'd want City to go after?
Well, the obvious one would be Luca Digne from Everton, but that's not going to happen.
True.
But I just think Zinchenko. We just need another left back. I think Zinchenko's a quality backup.
Yeah.
But I think we need a starter, definitely, for sure. Because as much as I love João Cancelo, and he can play anywhere, probably, he's much better on the right-hand side. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what was the other position we were looking at? Midfield?
CDM.
So that raises a whole big bunch of questions, right? Because what does that mean? What does that mean for Fernandinho? Yeah. Rodri ain't going nowhere. I think Pep is happy with him. So I guess the question then is, okay, so are we looking for a Rodri backup? Are we looking for a Rodri partner? Are we looking for a Fernandinho replacement? Are we looking for something completely different in that position that we haven't thought of yet?
Exactly.
What do we do?
So we were linked with Zakara from Mönchengladbach, and he for a long time, right?
Yeah, we were.
It's so weird.
He got a lot of YouTube hype videos, and I think a lot off of like one or two tweets, and I think that just kind of steamrolled.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's weird. Like it feels like we haven't been linked to like one like guy, you know?
Right.
So it could be all over the place. Like I don't know what City's thinking.
I would just like just go get Douglas Luiz.
Exactly.
You know? Exactly. That's such a that seems like such a no-brainer move.
We have the buyback clause, right?
It's a buyback clause. It costs us damn near nothing.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about visa issues now, so that rules. Right. He's used to the league. Awesome. And he gets to learn from Fernandinho how to play the role. I mean, what more could you ask for? And I mean, Brazil should be happy about that too. You know, like, hey, Brazilian national team, you're your guy for the future that should be replacing Casemiro here pretty soon. Gets to learn from Fernandinho how to play this position. Psyched? Yeah. Because you should be. This is a good shout here. Rafael Guerreiro from Dortmund. That's a good one, Gaz. I like that. Okay, people are this is getting out of control here with the pirate talk. So what's your view on City's chances this weekend?
Pretty well. I mean, United just freaking boring to watch. Like I can't watch them.
They are terrible.
It's so bad. But we should be confident. Like I don't know why we should be nervous for this. The only person we got to look out for is probably Bruno Fernandes. I do have an argument maybe about one United player getting in our squad, maybe Luke Shaw for left back, but because he's been pretty decent this season.
No. Me and Luke Shaw are built the exact same. I can't go for that. we both wear size 36 pants, and I just can't allow that to be a thing. Not on this show.
Yeah. I was just, because we have like no qualified left back. That's the only reason. That's for my thinking. But, but yeah, confident. Sterling starting is interesting because he, as we all know, he struggles against Wan-Bissaka. But I think somebody mentioned the Anfield curse. He finally broke that.
Yep.
So I think he'll score a brace on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got Sterling starting, and is he starting on the right or the left for you? Or through the middle, I guess?
He could be a false nine, but I think Gabby's just been awesome. I don't think a lot of people realize what Gabby does off the ball. And
he's a weird type of striker, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's a weird type of striker indeed. But yeah, the left or right's interesting. I just have him starting because I don't know what Pep. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know what Pep's going to do. But also on the other wing, I think he might play Foden.
I think Foden's got to start.
He has to,
just because of just emotionally, I want Foden to start. But also, I think he would make Wan-Bissaka have to actually defend.
Yeah,
and I don't know if Wan-Bissaka knows how to do that. But when United first bought him, everyone was like, Wan-Bissaka wins all these tackles and he wins all these slide tackles and all that kind of stuff. The reason you win a lot of slide tackles is because you're frequently out of position.
Yep. You
have to run back and slide. So, yeah, I think Foden's got to start. So if we go Foden, Raheem, and Gabby, that's an okay front three. That's an okay thing. One of the kind of debates that's gone on both on here, on the show, on Twitter, and in the chat is De Bruyne. Do you think Kev starts in this one?
Why is that even a debate? Kev should be starting.
Okay. I think it's more based off of the form of Bernardo, because Gundogan's not going to get dropped, right?
True.
So then your other 8 in there is going to be Bernardo, and Bernardo's been playing pretty much out of his mind. So I think that the debate there is, well, do we bench a guy that's maybe on his way back to, greatness for Kevin, who is on his way back from injury? He hasn't been, top-notch Kevin since he came back. He's been good, but nothing like what we're used to. And that's just us being spoiled. So I think that's the debate is do you start Kevin in this, or do you start Bernardo and save Kevin for Southampton so he kind of has an easy target to kind of get back to form?
Is the Champions League tie second leg this upcoming Wednesday, or
week after?
Week after.
Yep. So after this we've got Fulham, and then we've got Southampton, then Fulham, then
Southampton on Wednesday, right?
Yep, and then
okay.
Fulham next weekend, and then Gladbach.
Yeah, it's interesting, but like, it's Kevin De Bruyne.
True.
Like he played bad against West Ham, and that ball he had to Diaz was insane.
Yeah,
and then also against Wolves, the dude had an like a bicycle kick pass. I don't know if anybody saw that. It was insane. It was like, and this dude's been playing bad. Like, Kevin De Bruyne is undroppable for me.
Okay, so we've got Rodri, right? You went with Rodri, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we got Rodri, Kevin, Gundogan, and then you've got Sterling, Gabby, and Foden in any number of combinations.
Correct.
Hell yeah. Left back, are you going Zinchenko, Mendy, or Cancelo? Or Laporte, I guess, is an option.
I think I think he's going to stick with Cancelo and Walker. I think because of Marcus Rashford's pace and their winger's pace, he's just going to stick Walker there so he can just track back. As much as I want Cancelo and Zinchenko to start and want Cancelo to play right back because he's phenomenal, he can still put in the shit that left back, as we all know.
Yeah, I can get with that. That's one of those positions that, Cancelo or Zinchenko, I'm fine with on the left at this point. They're both played so well that I'm not really bothered by it.
Yeah.
And Walker, I think Walker gives us something else at right back that maybe Cancelo doesn't, in that Walker can tuck in as an extra center back, or he can get all the way forward and beat everybody on the pitch in a foot race. So that's an okay thing. Tell you what, dude, we're still backed up. Let me get a score line from you, and then we'll move on to the next caller.
So first off, shout out my friends from Canada, Terry Dunfield. What's up?
Ooh.
But we're going 4-0.
4-0 to City.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Hell yes. All right. Well, dude, thank you so much for calling in again.
Yeah, cheers, Joey. Thanks for having me
on. It's always
on.
good talking to you. Tyler, we will talk to you soon, bud. Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya. All right. We move. Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. You guys are talking a lot. That's what's up. Okay, who we got here? Oh, this is not going to be confusing at all. I think we're going up to Michigan.
Joey.
What's up, Double Joeys? How's it going?
Joey. I'm not sure you can have two Joeys in the same place without creating a rift in the space-time continuum, my friend.
That's actually why I had to move, because the guy that runs the Austin group, his name is Joey B as well. So like I think you and him couldn't be in the.
That's too much.
The world would melt down.
Too many blues, too many Joeys.
It's bad.
What are you drinking, my friend?
I'm very on brand. Drinking Guinness.
Yeah, right. Whiskey.
What do you got, pal?
Whiskey.
What kind of whiskey?
This is McKenna.
I'll allow it.
Familiar? It's good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm so happy to see people drinking booze. It really makes me excited. What do you Patrick brings up a good point. If you could go ahead and just to make me feel better, if you could gouge one of your eyes out.
Let me get a spoon. Hold on. Let me get a spoon.
So what do you want to talk about, dude?
You know what? I want to talk about nerves. I want to talk about like pre-Derby. So I'll tell you, I started supporting City in about 2007 when we were not good.
True.
But I did win the lottery when we got bought shortly thereafter. But I still started supporting them long enough ago to remember getting the shit kicked out of us by United, and always having that like hit in the feeling in the pit of your stomach and being nervous. Even we had the 6-1 and that was great, but you still like just get super wound up. And I have to admit, I'll probably come to regret this come Sunday, but I have to admit, like, I don't fear the Derby like I used to. And I'm particularly in the form that City's in right now, I'm just not I'm not wound up about Ole beating Pep, and I'm not wound up about the cast of characters from the Swamp beating our Blues. It's just different now. It just feels different now. We've been good enough for long enough that it's just different now.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really weird like we always talk about like my kind of 5 stages of illness leading into a Derby, where it eventually ends up with me wanting to just die somewhere on the road or on a highway, in my backyard even. I really don't care. Attacked by wolves, it doesn't matter. I just don't want to watch the match anymore. Again, I'm 2 days ahead here, so a lot can change. But I do picture myself waking up Sunday very tranquilo about this whole thing.
Yeah.
One, aside from pride, a loss doesn't, do anything. A win is only hilarious. A draw is probably the most annoying result. More annoying than a loss, I feel like. But you hit the nail on the head, man. It just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I don't know if that says more about them, I think, than it does about us, because the fact that they've fallen off a cliff is it's kind of unbelievable. Like you
love to see it.
You do, really do. My assumption is, just because I wasn't around when this kind of transformation happened, but Liverpool was great in the 80s, and then they kind of fell off and kind of meandered through the wilderness for a while. They popped their head back up and won the Champions League in 2005, and then kind of dipped back down again. I imagine this is kind of what it was like then, where you've got this team and they just keep bringing in managers that have names, and none of them can seem to figure anything out. They spend, absorbent amounts of money. All of those things fail. And then they're just at a point where, well, we'll just have one of the old players be the manager, I guess, just like Liverpool did with Dalglish there towards the what was that, early 2010s, 2011, something like that. It just feels like this thing, there's no way to right this ship, and they're gonna have to spend tons and tons of money, and nothing's ever going to change unless they can figure out how to tell a manager that he can show up and Fergie will leave.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be honest, I get way more wound up about Liverpool games now than I do about United games, which is a weird feel. Although probably, the way things are headed, maybe not that might be headed the other way too. I don't know, man. Favorite, I was thinking recently about just favorite Derby moments. There's been a lot of pictures getting posted recently of the, Mario doing his like just completely floating on clouds while Rio's trying to like pound him. An amazing moment. But honestly, like one of the ones that I always remember is Mancini doing flappy hand at
Fergie, old bacon face.
At old Purple Nose. And like that, honestly, like that, seeing Mancini just kind of like blah 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 at OPN was like, oh my God, things have changed. And like on the heels of the 6-1 that year too, was like, things have changed. Things have really changed.
It's very strange. Gaz brings up a good point. It's an alien feeling.
Yeah.
I am working on getting Baker on the line. He's down in he's dealing with some issues right now. He's down in Austin, Texas, and I think he saw an alien yesterday. So at least that's what his Twitter said. So he's
who hasn't seen an alien?
True. He's probably tied up with some stuff right now. I'm pretty sure the Browns want to take his Twitter down. So, Joey, let me ask you.
Yes.
All right. So, Derby, that whatever's going to happen there is going to happen. The rest of the Premier League is kind of it's not a dumpster fire, but there's not a lot of bright spots in there. West Ham's fun, Everton's fun, but we do have another competition that we're still in, that we are ahead in, and that there's a lot of talk going around that we might have a shot of winning this thing. I'm talking about the Champions League. I want to know what you think City's chances are genuinely of taking the whole thing.
Yeah. Like this one's tough. I mean, like I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about the quad now and then. And the quad really hinges for me on the Champions League, and probably for everybody else too. Bayern scares me a lot. Nobody else really scares me, but Bayern scares me a lot. And our, like, the Champions League and City there's such a hoodoo over City in the Champions League, and it's a lot like the Anfield hoodoo that we just got past. And so maybe we got past Anfield hoodoo and we get past this hoodoo too. Like, it's just, I feel as good as I've ever felt, but I've felt as good as I've ever felt before, and it ends up ball, marginally grazes somebody's arm, and that's it, and like, we're out to Spurs. So like, I feel as good as I can possibly feel, but until someone's holding up the trophy, like, that is a tough one. I feel as good as I've ever felt, but what are you gonna say?
So I'll tell you who we're say we get past Gladbach. I'll tell you who we're able to get. So there's no like regional restrictions anymore once we get into this next round. So there's no, like, we can face anybody. So right now, PSG is ahead of Barcelona. Liverpool's up on Leipzig. Chelsea's up, but only 1-0 against Atletico Madrid. Bayern 4-1 over Lazio. Real Madrid and Atalanta, there's only one goal in that, and it's Real Madrid that has it. Dortmund's up 3-2 over Sevilla. Porto 2-1 over Juventus. Obviously, some bigger, scarier names in there. PSG. The Barcelona result that PSG had, I think, flatters PSG, because Barcelona is really just not that good right now.
Right.
So you brought up the kind of the boogeyman of Europe right now, and that's Bayern. Do you think, or would you prefer to just get Bayern now and get it over with, and you have two legs, or would you rather get all the way to the final and then you got one shot at them?
I'd rather, I actually am going to pick door number 3. I'd rather it not be next, but anytime after that is fine.
Okay. So semifinal.
I'd like to get past the quarterfinals. That would be a nice thing to do. And then after that, it doesn't, but I don't care if it's the semis or the finals. I'd like to advance. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Too long. Okay, we're still backed up here. Joey, let me give me your starting 11 for the derby.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this one's so tough. I mean, I listened to you guys talking about it today. I've listened to the 9320 guys talk about it. Like, I want to see Raz and Gabby and Phil across the top. Yeah. So even before I get to the 11, here's the thing I've been thinking about. How funny would it be? I get, like, Kev's healthy, Kev's fit, you got to start Kev. But how funny would it be just to can I curse on this show? I can curse, right?
I don't care.
How funny would it be just to fuck with Ole?
Yeah. To
say, like, actually, you know what? We don't need Kev to beat you, so we're going to keep Kev on the bench to start, and we'll bring him on if we're not winning.
Yeah. And I think it's even funnier to bring him on when you are winning.
3-0 middle, and you're like, all right, now bring on Kevin Aguero.
Time to bring on the howitzer.
Now bring on Kevin Aguero. I like Kev Gundogan, and I actually like Fernandinho instead of Rodri. And then I like Zinchenko and Stones Diaz and Cancelo across the back.
Okay, so yeah, okay, yeah, I think that's that.
Don't overthink it. Like we're in a position, honestly, Joey. We're like, we can't really go. I really don't think we can go wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
see
like the ones that we're talking about, sort of switching in and out. Like, what's the down? Really, what's the downside?
It's really 1 versus 1A in every position. Right. There's no one's like gonna flip shit if it's if it's Raz or if it's Mahrez or if it's Foden or if it's I think the only one that would raise an eyebrow would be Ferran Torres. But even then, like you're still getting a player that has exceeded all expectations this year, and it's only been 6 months.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know what? Honestly, the only thing that will piss me off is if Phil doesn't start. That's literally like the only thing that would piss me off. Other than that, like I don't think anything could piss me off. And I had a thought, and it totally fell out of my head. I didn't even mention Mahrez, and like he's been in such good form.
Yeah.
I will confess, like I've been kind of like, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if Mahrez, like, what can we get for Mahrez? How much is he worth these days?
Yeah.
But goddamn, he's been in form lately. Like
he's been damn good.
Yeah, he's been really good. I don't know, man. Like to circle back to what we were talking about before, like I know you got to get on to other people. I'm sorry, I'm using up all your time. But,
You're good. I just have to look over here because I can't see the shit I'm clicking.
You are literally doing that. It's just a weird position to be in, and to be like, I don't know, we got 20-something guys, and if you put any of them in there, except for maybe Garcia, we're probably good. Like it's such a weird position. You
basically just said Voldemort on this show. Did you know that?
I know. I did that on purpose. I know you don't like it.
Well, give me your score line, and then we're gonna keep this thing rolling, dude.
I heard 6-0 earlier from Ian, and I was like, ooh, that would be fun, but I think it's 3-0. I don't think they're gonna score a goal. Yeah, I think we're gonna batter them.
I'm gonna have to see what the total goals line is here in the next 24 hours, because we've got the lowest goal total we've had on the show tonight is 3, because we had a 3-0 and a 2-1. So if it's anything over 2.5, I'm putting money down. I'll tell you that right now. Well, Joey, thank you so much for calling in, dude. It's great seeing you. Great to finally talk to you. And once these things clear up a little bit, maybe we'll be up in the Michigan area.
We're not that far. We're not that far apart, buddy. Let's watch.
No, and I can purchase my vitamins there. Yeah. So until next time, dude. We'll see you. Thank you.
All right, cheers, buddy. Up the Blues.
Man, just keeps on going, dude. Let me catch up on the chat here. Again, I'm so sorry I have to do this like this. I think the lesson I've learned here is don't let insulation or like old shingle material drop into your eyeball, and you can kind of just go about life normally, which is sick. That does rule. Also, if you ever want to know how much yes, it's real, and you can make fun. So yes to both. So if you ever want to know how dope having 2 eyes is, just don't have one for like 24 hours and you hate it. You can't see how far away things are. I'm trying to find my mouse down here and it feels like it's either 6 feet away or 3 inches. It's terrible. All right, where are we going? We are going back up to the Great White North. There's a man meandering around his home right now, and it's Nebs. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Just headed back upstairs to the quiet promised land up here.
There you go.
Wanted to give you guys a quick shout out for doing God's work once again. My deepest, most sincere condolences to you and the missus for the loss of your family friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
As well as a big rest in peace to Mr. Robert Bolsover, who is one of ours. My deepest condolences go out to Scott and the rest of his family. On that note, let's talk football, pal. And not about your eye patch anymore. Sorry for starting off all the cheap puns at your expense.
I don't care. All day long, I was just thinking. Thank you. All day long, I was thinking about if I was just going to do this show as a full-on pirate, or if I was just going to introduce it off the top and go with it. There's no subtle way to, especially when you do a video show. There's no subtle way to just then have an eye patch.
Listen, brother, you make it look good. You're pulling it off the style, so
maybe this is my thing. Maybe, first people judge me because of the mustache, and then
you're getting one leg up on the competition.
Well, no, we're gonna keep the peg leg jokes out. Hopefully, I think I'm still a good year or two until I need a knee replacement.
Listen, novelty works, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm like halfway to a full on hipster. I've got a mustache and an eye patch. I think if you give me like a wrestling knee pad
plaid shirt.
And plaid shirt. If you give me like one of those, those like Native American like tent hoodies that people wear that are like knit. You only see them in Colorado and Arizona. I feel like if you gave me one of those, I tick all the boxes.
I think you pull that off as well, man.
Hell yeah.
Heard a lot of lineup talk today. I heard some transfer talk today. I seen some friends. I heard someone even shouted out Terry Dunfield.
Yeah.
Incredible.
This is a very well-rounded show. What do you want to talk about, buddy? Derby?
Let's talk City. Yeah, okay. Let's talk Derby. I'm torn. Torn between fielding our best side and blowing these fuckers out of the water, and
hell yeah,
got some things tugging at my heartstrings a little bit, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Go on.
Similar to what Ian was saying, I think this is potentially the last Derby for one of our heroes, Mr. Sergio Aguero. And he's 2 goals away from tying the record for most goals in the Manchester Derby history. I'm kind of wondering whether or not we should go ahead and just start him this weekend. Is that absurd? Is that absurd?
I don't think so. I mean,
I think we got enough of a gap to maybe take the piss a little bit, and I think we've got enough in the tank to beat them one way or the other. So,
well, I think anytime you can start Aguero against a mid-table back line, you go for it.
Hey, I like it. Get stuck in. Go on, son. And I think if there's any game to get him back in firing and back to where he was, or back to where we need him to be going forward for the rest of the season, I think this is the game to do it in. So
yeah.
And I think if it doesn't work out within the first 60 minutes, you then have the option of going in a different direction. But I don't see the harm in throwing him out there on Sunday and giving it a go.
Okay, so we're going for brute force here, because Aguero's going to be.
He may be my only sentimental pick.
Running like on the shoulder of guys, running directly at people. If we. I'm trying to read your mind here. It's like trying to figure out Pep. So we're going brute force there, and that's the only sentimental pick. Okay, so that means do you have Rodri in midfield?
No.
Okay,
and I wouldn't even call that a sentimental pick. I mean, Fernandinho played in the last Derby. Could you call it a sentimental pick, or could you call it a good pick?
True.
I think, it's just I see him starting on Sunday again, maybe for along the same reasons. It's the last Derby, and Rodri's been playing fantastically, don't get me wrong, but Fernandinho in these games, he steps up, he runs like he's 26 instead of 36, and I think it's a good opportunity for him to come in and give us one of his last impact performances before he moves on. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't move on. I hope he sticks around next year, but fingers crossed.
So let's figure out the spine here, since we're going right through the middle. So we've got Aguero, we got Fernandinho, center back pairing. I think it kind of picks itself, but there is a wild card there.
I got Diaz and Stones.
Okay, we've got 3 super cars back there, so I never know. If maybe you throw a Laporte in there just to give somebody a break, but Diaz and Stones, you can't go wrong with that. Left back, do you want Zinchenko, Mendy, Cancelo?
I think Mendy's the one that we can count out right off the hop.
Okay.
In terms of trying to keep up with Rashford on that side, I lean towards Cancelo a little bit, but I think Zinchenko could do just as admirable a job. Put Walker on the right or Cancelo on the right if Zinchenko starts on the left. I think if I'm drawing the lineup up right now, I'm going Zinchenko on the left and Cancelo on the right.
Okay, I like that.
I may surprise you with who's beside Aguero on each side.
I know you are going to. Give me the guy on the left first.
Philly.
Okay. So no
Yeah.
surprise. No surprise
we need
there.
the legs. I think we need the legs. And on the right side, I want Bernardo in there.
Ooh, I like this.
I know. I think that's in support of Aguero and KDB. I don't want to say a lot of people mentioning that we could carry KDB on Sunday, and I don't know if that's the right terminology. I do agree that maybe our best sides recently haven't included Kevin De Bruyne, but for a game like Sunday, I think he's one of the first names on the sheet, and you try and work the lineup around him. So I've got KDB, Gundogan in front of Fernandinho, Bernardo on the right, Foden on the left, Gabia or Aguero up top if Pep decides to play to the heartstrings of many City fans.
Oh. Yeah,
and I think we could win with that lineup.
This is the weirdest derby I think that I've been a part of in it's 2021. So almost 22 years. This is the weirdest derby I think I've been a part of. And that one, I'm not nervous, and two, I can pick probably 6 different lineups and I'm cool with all of them.
I think we're not nervous because we realize we're so far ahead and that it'd be tough for us to drop it at this point. But I think all of that goes out the window as soon as you drop a game against them.
True.
I mean, the feeling of losing a derby, the feeling of losing to them, the bants, all of it. I don't want any of that shit, which is why I'm kind of torn between, again, starting the lineup that my heart wants and starting the lineup that is guaranteed to blow those fuckers out of the water.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Here's a good question from Johnny in the chat. Do we risk him with United or start Aguero in the Champions League since we have a 2-0 advantage?
I think the derby
first.
means more to him. Go ahead.
Well, I think you can do both on this. I think you can start him against United. I didn't have him in my lineup, but I don't hate the idea of starting him. I think you can start him against United, Johnny, and I think you give him a break. You give him 60 minutes against Southampton, maybe, or you give him nothing. You put him on the bench against Fulham, and then he starts against Mönchengladbach. I think you can still manage his minutes and still have, all the things that he brings you in the derby. So
agreed. I think he can definitely appear in both matches.
Porque no los dos, basically, is what we're saying. We will take both of those things. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on the chat here. What do you think about these transfer rumors that don't go away about Haaland?
The recent update that popped up today from our boys at City Extra, from credible sources that say he's destined to be a City player.
Yeah, so
it gave me a bit of a half job.
That means Freddie's heard something, and LB and Jordy, I think those vampires have finally gone to sleep. I haven't seen them in the chat in a little bit, but they're usually up till stupid o'clock in the morning.
We also have it being reported from such credible sources as the Daily Mail. So
true, all the big ones.
So Sports Illustrated said that we're the favorites in terms of that deal. But
again, I think City Extra. I think City Extra actually, at least Freddie, is doing a little bit of something with Sports Illustrated these days. So
I trust those guys over the latter two anyway.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about the Haaland thing not going away? Do you think? I mean, there's the Messi story, which is kind of on the back burner now, because Haaland is at this point in time a much sexier thing to do, both on the pitch and the fact that you get to bring in a 6'4" blonde. Am I right, ladies? What do you think about this Haaland thing? Do you think we just back up the friggin' Brinks truck, open the doors up, and tell Dortmund, take all of our money, give me that big, beautiful man right there?
I think with the situation for him being as it is, with the release clause being activated within a year, you offer a buffer on top of that and take him a year in advance just to make sure that there's no questions asked when it comes to securing a talent like that. I think you take him, throw the money out there and run. Patrick had mentioned in the chat a few times that we do have a little bit of I guess you want to call it credit with Dortmund when it comes to the clause regarding Sancho, the Salon, etc., that we could drop. So we have a bit of room to work with them there. And I think it's probably best that we just get it done as soon as possible if that's the case and he's willing to come. In particular, when Dortmund's having a rough year.
Yeah. And there's the fun rumor going around that we might go for Gio Reyna too, which I don't see that happening. But if it did, I would be all over it. I'd be so happy. to bring back two city kids, like city kids in that they were toddlers while their dads were playing for City. That is such a sick thing to do. I'd be all about it.
He had a Manc accent before he left.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he went to New York.
I think both of them would fancy it, to be honest. And I think both of them, they have attachments to the club, so it would make sense.
So,
although I think it's Gio or Grealish, I'm hearing a lot about him as well. Lots
the Grealish thing is interesting. I think Grealish would be. I think Grealish coming in would be one of those situations where that would probably be the end for Mahrez. That's because I don't. You're not going to get rid of Torres. You just brought him in. It's not Phil. It's not Raheem.
Well, in particular, if there's any credit to the Messi rumors as well, like should he be coming in the door, I think Mahrez has always been the obvious out.
It's a hell of a make weight to have, like
in particular with the form he's playing in now. I think selling him on now would probably be the best chance at recouping the fee that we gave up for him. So.
Even if he keeps up this form, kind of like at half of what he's doing now, it's still better than what we had for most of last season. So if he finishes this season, I don't know, close to 10 assists and close to 10 goals across all competitions.
And potentially moving on as a 4-time Premier League champion.
Yo.
Something
cash money, dude. Right? Cash money. Yeah, hell yeah. Another transfer thing. What do you how are you feeling about the left back situation?
As comfortable as I felt in a while, to be honest. To think that Zinchenko and Stones, like a lot of people are saying that we should have moved them on last season, the season before, and to see where they are now in the standing within the club, how well they're playing. At the risk of sounding hokey or whatnot, I couldn't be prouder of those two guys.
Right.
And Zinchenko deserves as much time there as he can get. Cancelo fills in admirably whenever we want to play him on the left. Whoever does come in on that left side has to be a player that fits the system, and I don't necessarily know that there's a young player out there, aside from one that plays for Bayern Munich, that really tickles my fancy. I don't see that he's moving anytime soon.
I don't think Mr. Davis is going anywhere.
No.
Left back is one of those weird things where there's just been what seems like a dearth of good left backs across all of world football. For
David Alaba?
I'm all about the David Alaba thing.
In particular for a squad that requires players to play in multiple positions. You play him center back, you play him left back.
I'm all about it. But if you look over the last 10 years, I mean, you can name on one hand kind of the great left backs in the game. Whereas there's other positions that you can name 15, 20 guys. And left back just seems like there's this weird thing going on where there just aren't a ton of them. Alaba, I would love, but I think he's probably going to go to Real Madrid, which is very stupid.
He has other plans, agreed.
Very dumb move, but Alaba would be nice. All right, we still got people lined up. So Nebs, give me your score prediction for the match, and then I will let you go, my friend.
2-0 up the Blues. Let's go.
Hell yeah!
Keep doing God's work. I hope your eye gets better.
Thank you.
Next time we see it, it'll be with both of those lovelies.
Hopefully by like the Southampton match, I have 2 peepers. That'd be nice. Everyone, Nebs from Canada. Thank you, brother. It just keeps going. People keep calling in. Hell yes. Up next, we are going, if my eye doesn't deceive me, I'm pretty sure we're going to the Deep South. Yes, we are. Stanley Hoggins.
What's going
from
on,
Alabama.
Joe?
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. How about
Damn,
yourself?
boy, you got some merch on? You got some merch,
Yeah.
boy? Woo! How's things down there? Humid?
Pretty good. 70 degrees and humid as all.
Oh, you're a son of a bitch. It's 29 right now.
Oh,
up here in Believe Land. I do think
going
it's
golfing in the morning.
I do think it's supposed to be like 60 next week, which I'm pretty pumped about. And then we're planning we might be going down to the Lone Star State here this month. So
hell yeah.
I don't know. If I know the governor down there said you don't have to wear a mask anymore. Eye patches, I'm not quite sure what the situation is there. So we might be in
you
trouble.
didn't put a I can't believe you didn't put a city patch on the outside of that thing.
This actually, I don't know where my noisy neighbor stickers were. That would have been a pretty funny bit. Just put a noisy neighbor sticker. Do I have him down here? Hold up. Yeah, hell yeah. Hold on.
This is why I've never been invited on the podcast, because me and you just get into all
You're
the
basically
kind of
this is you're producing for free. There's a city sticker. Will that fit? That's too reflecty. Let's see here. I know
Was
I
that
got
Knox's
more.
sticker from 2 years ago?
No, this is just a city one, and it's very reflecty like. Yeah, boom, that'll work. This is.
Do not injure yourself on the podcast.
No, I do all my injuries before the show. It's very stupid to injure yourself on a show. Let's see. What is this? Where is people? I don't know what I don't know what he's laughing at. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
The last thing you said on YouTube.
This actually makes a shitload of sense. Preston, that's a good idea. I'm pretty sure if you have a noisy neighbor sticker or like a pin, if you wear a scarf and you just walk into a pub, I'm pretty sure it'll get you into most. All right, let's see how this will. Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
There. I've never looked better. Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Oh god.
Who needs eyes?
When malls away.
Yeah. Idiot. I don't know why he lets me keep doing this. Keeps doing this on my own.
Hey, we appreciate you doing this.
Anyway, I look much better now. I look like what's the professor in Harry Potter that's got the one eye that kind of goes wacky all over the place? Moody? I think it's Mad Eye Moody. Mad Eye McCune on the scene for the Noise Neighbors podcast. All right. Anyway, what do you want to talk about, bud?
So
Jesus.
I kind of lost service a little bit earlier, but no one's mentioned it since I've been watching, but I really want to mention Kev at the False Nine.
Yes.
Bernardo has been really good in the 8, and so I mean Pep loves his passing when Bernardo's in the 8. So I think if you put Kev up at the False Nine, I mean Aguero's not in form yet, so
yeah,
I don't know, just my idea.
So Kevin the False Nine, and then you get to keep Bernardo in midfield, yeah.
And you put Foden out wide, and it's just rotating.
And then Raheem's on the other side. Mahrez. Yep. Okay. Ooh, I like that. I can get down with that. Man, we've said it a million times, but this thing just feels weird. How much of United have you seen this year?
None. I don't pay attention.
That's hell yeah. What? So I mean, they've drawn 3 of their last 5. 0-0 against Crystal Palace when they've started Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno, and Cavani. I mean, that's the most attacking power they're going to be able to throw out.
Yep.
That being said, do you think there's anything they do that could possibly worry you going into this weekend?
I think just counterattacking. I think that's really the only thing that we're vulnerable to at the moment. But with Diaz and Stones playing like they are right now, I really don't think that. I think they maybe get one, but they don't get a second. So I mean, how much pressure can we heap on them,
right?
And how far can we push them back?
So I mean, they are gonna sit back. That's just they have a manager that doesn't know tactics.
He's not tactically as
so much.
Yeah.
So they are going to sit back. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. The only thing we have to worry about is them countering, and it's whether or not if it's Martial or if it's Greenwood or if it's Rashford, Bruno, Cavani, whatever.
They have legs. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of pace there, but in order for a counterattack to work, I think they're going to have to leave more than just one guy a little bit higher up the pitch, and I just don't know if that's a risk you can take against City, especially if we start doing weird stuff with Cancelo or if Zinchenko's in there. If you have Cancelo and Zinchenko both playing that free inverted fullback libero combo situation.
I think you have one, not the other, though.
Okay, so you think, yeah. So if Zinchenko's in there, you're saying he's going to have to sit deeper, yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's Walker or Cancelo, Walker sits deeper and Cancelo just does his thing, but on the left.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen enough of United, and I can't think of anything they do that particularly worries me. I think the 0-0 that City had against them earlier in the season was just part of Pep's, when he was kind of going through that really pragmatic phase. I think a more true representation of what this will be like was the match in the cup. Yeah, dude, this is very foreign, isn't it?
Very much so. Normally, I'm like you on Derby Day. I just I don't want to talk to anybody. I sit away from everyone at the pub and just bite my nails pretty much the entire time.
Yeah. Dicky Bitter's chiming in. Anthony Taylor will give the Rags a dodgy pen.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a given.
You have a guy that falls over with a strong wind. So,
what do you? So you heard the news on this the handball thing getting repealed or whatever the hell they're calling it, right?
No idea about it.
Okay, so IFAB came out, and so did Gianni Infantino, who's the president of FIFA or UEFA, one of them, whichever, the president of one of the corrupt organizations.
Yep.
Basically, what they said is that the handball rules being interpreted incorrectly, and I think July 1st it changes, where they won't be, I guess, ruling it the way they are now.
So they're going over the English FA, basically telling them
whole world.
Yeah.
Everybody's changing. This has been done so poorly. Everybody's got to go back to what we were doing before. You all ruined this. And then
the English FA loves to do things differently. So
true. Like not give a winter break and instead put more games in.
Let's make them play every 2 days now.
Hell of a move. Hell yeah. Shout out Mulv for repping the real ones. The other thing that came out in that was that Infantino mentioned something about the offside rule, and that I guess Arsene Wenger had come to them and said he had some other idea for the offside rule, and that FIFA is going to, I don't know, start implementing that sometime in the future. He didn't go into any further details, but it seems like this is a scenario in which enough crap decisions have been made across the leagues that the governing body of football on the planet is having to step in and say, we can't keep doing this. Did you see Scott Parker's interview today?
No.
The Fulham manager. So he talked about it, about how the offside rules kind of murdered.
Oh yeah, taking the passion out of the game.
Yeah. How a goal gets scored and you just kind of sit there and wait. And like look around for a while. Can you think of I mean, in terms of how, rules are a boring thing, but can you think of something more positive than, this handball thing going back to the way it maybe was, and the offside rule possibly being changed to something that makes more sense?
I think, why mess with a good thing? And they went in there and tried to make it some kind of a mathematic equation. And
right.
I mean, I don't understand why you have to, I don't know, get it as close to the ball, but also not play it with the frame where he kicks the ball. Like I've never really understood that. And I don't know. I think that they should take it back to the way it was before they decided that they wanted to meddle in something that they couldn't get perfect.
Where are you at on VAR, like as a whole?
I never wanted it, but I mean, it's here to stay. So, I mean, unfortunately, I don't see them rolling it that far back. But I mean, You
Yeah,
know how it
that's
goes.
fair. That's fair. All right. So you've told us your lineup. Give
Who do
me.
you think starts in left back? Do you think it's Cancelo or do you think it's Zinchenko?
I'm happy either way. I want Zinchenko.
And then you want Cancelo on the right.
I want Cancelo on the right, and I just think so. So they will have Shaw on the left, and I think if you put Raheem Sterling and either Kevin or Bernardo, whichever one is the 8 on that side, and Cancelo all running at a combination of Luke Shaw, and then one of Fred, Nemanja Matic, or Scott McTominay. I take our guys over that combo any day of the week. And if they have Pogba over there, or if they have Martial or Rashford or Greenwood, I just don't see a scenario in which any of those guys can work hard enough defensively to stop what we're going to throw at them. And if they do, and they overload that side, dope. Phil Foden or Raheem Sterling on the left will get a free run at Wan-Bissaka and possibly Lindelof or Maguire. I mean, they're I don't know. They're in a rough spot right now, and I think if Zinchenko starts and Cancelo starts, we get more going forward.
More possession in the
Yeah.
More possession with him at left back. I think honestly, you hit the nail on the head with having Bernardo running at Fred and Luke Shaw. I mean, I can't think of anything that I would love to see more.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
Yeah, and with Kevin there too.
Yeah. Yes, please.
I don't know. I honestly can't see them playing anyone else other than Kevin up front in the false 9.
So So you're thinking that's like nailed on.
I personally want to see it. I'm not saying that Pep's going to do it.
So this is a you pick, not what do you think Pep's going to do?
I would never say that I'm remotely in his head.
I'm trying to figure out. So the City Extra account, I'm assuming, is Jordy.
Yep.
And why are you still awake, bro? Like your call-in ended like 3 or 4 hours ago. He must be up playing Cyberpunk. He's got to be playing Cyberpunk. That or he is a vampire. He's never denied being a vampire, and I think that's problematic.
Definitely a vampire.
Jacob, absolutely. Whippy's got to be in there. That's a no-brainer. Whoa. Gaz, did I click that? No, I didn't click it. Haha, I can't see. Is that true? De Gea's out for a month? I saw Henderson started today. I didn't realize De Gea was out for a month. Oh no.
Let's see.
They're done. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
See?
He's out.
This is the issue. He still won't deny that he's a vampire. I understand you're having beers and everything, but I'm starting to wonder if they're all made from blood orange.
Is he rallying a full day before?
I hope so. That does rule. Don't move.
Like,
keep doing it.
Sounds like us before when they visit America.
Not me, dude. I would never. I don't do none of that nonsense.
The last time went down very well.
Yeah, obviously. Okay. I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time. Stanley, I'm going to let you go here in a second. You got any final thoughts for the folks?
No. I mean, just keep listening to Noisy Pod. And we appreciate everything you do.
Hell yeah. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Stanley Hawkins, everybody, from the great state of Alabama. Thank you. We'll see you. Okay. How are we looking? Again, catching up on the chat, the Chizat. I think that's what they say. Breaking news. Breaking news on Noisy Pod. The City Extra Boys are vampires. They're not to be trusted aside from transfer news and that one time that they kidnapped Messi. All right. Where are we going? Canada again. Everyone's favorite nice guy, Dicky Bitters. What's up, man? How are you?
Hi. How are you, mate?
Okay. Is this how we're going to start this thing off? With an aye.
Listen. I was in the lobby here for like an hour earlier.
Uh-huh.
And I got kicked out twice, and I thought you bastards had done it on purpose. So
yeah, I got tired of all the pirate jokes. So what's up? What do you want to talk about? What do you got to say?
Oh well, I mean, I was going to talk about derby formations and everything, but let's have a laugh.
Okay.
Liverpool last year, when they won the league, said they were going to have a title parade when the time was right.
Yes.
What happens when? Because I mean, the league's done. We're going to win it, and I mean, you know me, I'm a pessimistic son of a bitch at the best of times.
Mm-hmm.
But the league is done. We're winning it.
Hell yeah.
What happens if they ask for the trophy? Like, seriously, no, serious question, because they had said that they were going to have a big parade through Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, what's the scenario here? Do they ask City for it? And no in City will, like Pep's a nice guy. He'll say, yeah, borrow the trophy or whatever. But I don't know. After that whole bus thing and them nicking our scouts and everything like that, I'd love to turn around and say, no, fuck you.
Yeah. So I think our stance has to be, during these very unprecedented times, everyone has to make sacrifices, and unfortunately, your sacrifice is going to have to be having a parade and the trophy. Damn, COVID strikes again.
Listen, I'm happy to help. When I was over there for one of our parades a few years back, I bought one of those plastic inflatable trophies for a couple of quid from a vendor on Deansgate.
Yep.
I mean, if it helps them out, I'll lend them that, and they can.
So you're saying we bring back the inflatables craze and just give them an inflatable trophy? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. I get that.
Genuine question though, right? Like, what happens? Because I mean, on the one hand, I used to like Liverpool to some degree until we were rivals with them. I think we've been over this before, and I mean, you could say for what they did last year, they deserve to celebrate it, 30 years and all that. But wouldn't it be great if they asked us for it and we told them no? Just send them the footage back of that bus attack and say, go fuck yourselves.
I think that is the way to do it. I mean, like, why would we owe them any amount of courtesy?
Yeah.
After this, what's the point?
I just thought I'd throw that in there just as a change of topic. But
I think Gaz brings up a good point. You just go straight down the M62, and then Hendo has to change the ribbons at the Etihad post-match. I see no issues with that.
No, that's okay. Or they stop off at Birchwood Services and they switch it over from red to blue or something like that.
Yeah, so there's options. Like, this doesn't have to be a difficult thing.
No, I know. But anyway, getting back to Sunday.
Uh-huh.
My midfield, discuss. Mr. Whippy on the left.
Yeah.
Fernandinho in the middle.
Yeah.
Bernardo on the right. You can't drop Bernardo.
Okay.
Front three. Raz is always shit up against Wan-Bissaka, so I play Raz on the right. Mahrez has been fantastic the last couple of games. Wash my mouth out with soap because he pisses me off most of the time. He was great the other night, but I want to play United with pace. Like, the best way to beat United is with pace, and as good as Mahrez can be, he slows us down. So I'd have Raz on the right, Phil on the left, and I was thinking Kev in the middle till Nebs came up with a sexy surge down the middle there. I'm thinking put Sergio in there, one last derby.
Yeah.
And just let him rip the bastards to shreds down the middle there and let him feast on what comes to him.
It would be pretty sweet, huh? Like a Sergio goal.
I'm picturing, the goal I'm picturing. He's got the ball on the edge of the box, drops the shoulder, goes past one, goes past two, goes past three, boom, top corner.
Yeah, it starts on the left side.
Yeah.
He dribbles parallel to the goal. And then it's
right
one
past Slabhead.
yeah. And then he buries it past Dean Henderson. It's a goal that I think that that Aguero goal is the same as all the Arjen Robben goals from back in the day, where it's like, you know what he's doing.
No, yeah.
You know what he's doing. No, you can't stop it. It's no can defense. It's impossible.
So is this true that De Gea is not available?
Sounds like it. Sounds like
shame,
it's out for a month.
Fucking awful in the derbies.
He is terrible.
And Henderson's a decent goalkeeper, so that's troubling if that's true. I mean, I think we've still got enough to beat them, quite honestly. But
I'm still not worried about it.
We owe them an absolute mullering.
Yeah, it does feel like this should be, if there is like a Justin loving God, it feels like this should be an absolute slaughter. Like this should be a match in which City and Pep make an example of United and show, like, look, there is only one team in this race. There is only one club in this city, and there's us, and then there's everyone else that used to be good a long time ago that's just going to have to watch us ride.
Yeah.
And I think the way to do it is along the lines of what some other guys have said tonight, where it's like, you got to put 5 or 6 past them and never take your foot off the gas. I mean, this feels
that's not Pep's style, though. He gets to 2 or 3-0 up, and it's like, take it easy, match management, pass it around the back, pad the stats. But you just want to go for the throat. I mean,
it feels like we need to step on their necks, doesn't it? Like it just feels like this has to be a back-breaking match for them.
I'd love it. But I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, I hate myself for doing it, but I find myself watching the Rags. I mean, my mate Steve, who used to live out this way, he's lived in Nova Scotia now. He watches the Rags twice a year, and that's when they play City, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I find myself watching them because I just take such great pleasure in the demise of what they used to be and what they are now. And I was watching the Palace game the other day while I was working, because I've got a TV screen right behind my laptop working from home. And
that's the way to do it, by the way.
Oh man,
just if you're on a Zoom meeting, it looks like you're still looking at
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm in my office right now, okay?
Yeah.
And there's my TV screen and there's the laptop down there. So I mean,
hell yeah.
Yeah. But when City's playing, I go downstairs and watch it because I've got to concentrate 100%. But yeah, I mean, did you see that interchange between Rashford and Slabhead? It was all doing the rounds on social media this week. Where
I didn't.
Oh God, mate, look it up on Twitter. It was just look for Rashford, and it was what's his name, Maguire.
Yeah. And
he passed the ball forward, and he shouted out to Rashford, "Just fucking get onside." And Rashford yelled back, "You fuck off, you fucking knobhead." And it was, oh mate, like it was the best. It was the best just to see that. And
that's a sign of things going well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is too, I mean, I've been a Blue since the early 70s, and I get to Derby week and my body goes through this strange contortion of stomach in knots.
Yeah.
And shall we say snakes in the morning. And there's just none of that. Like, and I'm not arrogant about it. I mean, this is I hate the expression free hit, but this is a free hit. If we lose, we're 11 points clear.
Yeah,
right?
this is
like, just go for it.
It's the strangest scenario to be in, because I think even the year that we did beat them 6-1, that was actually, that title race was tight, and every other year, I think even the years that we kind of ran roughshod over the league a couple of years ago, we never really dominated United in those matches. I mean, not as far as the scoreline went. But yeah, this one feels, it feels different just because of how far ahead we are, but it also feels different in that this one feels like we should be making an example out of them, and it's a opportunity missed if we don't.
Well, it would be nice, and quite honestly, I mean, you look at the top 4, the top 6, the top 7, whatever Sky chooses to show based on Big Red's positions, I mean, the gap in quality is unreal. I mean, I back in October when we were losing at Tottenham and we were 13th in the table. I remember in a conversation, I was looking for it actually the other day, but I couldn't find it. I'd said in a Facebook Messenger conversation that City would, when we were 13th, I said City's winning the league this season because we've sorted the defense out, and as soon as the front guys start scoring, just watch us go. And I mean, I'm Dicky Bitters. The sky is falling. The sky is falling, right? But you look around this division and the way the results have gone this year with whether it's COVID, whether it's transition, whether it's whatever, and it just seemed that at some point we'd start putting a run together. I mean, I certainly didn't think we'd put a run together like this. I mean, this is just unbelievable.
21 on the bounce is a hell of a run, huh?
Yeah, and please don't let it end on Sunday. I kind of, I was almost wishing us to draw against Wolves because I just didn't want these twats on Sunday to take it from us.
That is the one that's like, if you're gonna go full Dicky Bitters, I mean that would be,
oh man,
that would be peak you. I think. I mean, you'd become your final form.
I sort of wanted West Ham to get a result against us at Wolves, because I just didn't want these bastards to do it on Sunday. And as much as we're a far, far better team, with the history of the club and everything like that, you can just see it happening. But I mean, logic says we massacre them or we beat them at least. But Anthony Taylor's a bit of a, shall we say, a wild card. With his season ticket family and his Wythenshawe connect, or it's altering a minute. No, he's from Wythenshawe, but his family are all season ticket holders at United, but he's an Alty fan. Yeah,
it's a possible ace in the hole for the Rags, huh?
Well,
also, it's pretty convenient, isn't it? It's like they had that one bald guy that was a United supporter, maybe. That seemed to give them a lot of
Howard Webb?
Yeah, back in the day, and now they got another one.
They've never replaced him, to be fair, have they?
They've tried.
They tried
with who's the guy that doesn't ref in Clattenburg?
Oh, Twattenberg, yeah, he was. Yeah. Listen, I mean, I think the only decent refs, quite frankly, right now are Tierney and. Who's the other guy? Can't remember. Chris Kavanagh. I think Kavanagh and Tierney are the only decent refs in the league right now. I mean, the standard of refereeing in the Premier League is just garbage compared to what it used to be. And I mean, it's had its dodgy moments over the years. But, there's VAR. VAR is a joke. I've been at matches where I was, it was just over a year ago when I was over at the Wolves away game when we lost 3-2 there. And you had all four sides of the ground yelling FVAR, and then City fans on the away side there not cheering the goal till a restart happened. It's ruining the game. The offside, the sort of leaning forward thing, or, your armpits offside, or the handball rule. It's ridiculous. I mean, you could make an argument for just saying, all right, let's go back in the time machine 10 years ago. It wasn't broke. Let's go back to that.
Right. Man, there we go. It took a little bit, but we got Dicky Bitters out.
Hey, mate, I was on there earlier on, but you bastards cut me off twice.
I knew you were gonna try to be naughty, or you were gonna say something negative, and I wasn't gonna have it.
I was just waiting till the watershed so I could swear.
Fair. That's fair. I appreciate it. Up here in the Rust Belt, we're very sensitive about our language.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, get your asses up to Toronto once you lot are all vaccinated, and we'll have a few beers.
My wife's what's it, the 5th? She gets her second round next week, and then I don't know when the hell I'll be eligible for it, but I'm hoping
You're
sometime by the summer.
Yeah, you're ahead of us right now. I mean, we're begging and borrowing it from everywhere. So
yeah,
good to see. Since the adults are in charge down there, they're actually getting stuff happening. So
long may it continue, huh? Let's get everybody stuck. All right,
mate. Good luck with the eye.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Up the Blues.
Yeah, buddy.
Those bastards on Sunday, right?
Indeed. All right, we'll talk to you later. Dicky Bitters, ladies and gentlemen. That guy. What a man. What a man. All right, let me catch up here. Do have somebody else in the waiting room, so we'll get to you in just a second. Johnny is, as far as I know, pretty sure he's working on an album right now. So whenever that's done, we'll get him back on the show. If we can get him on one of these, that would be sick. But probably just gonna be a normal episode. Boop, 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 boo. All right, cool. All right, we are going up to Big Apple. What's up, man? How's it going, Conforti?
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good. Having fun. I was in and out a little bit. I had a little podcast to jump back to and then back into this, but I don't know what I missed. But I'm excited for the match this weekend. Excited to see what happens across the league tomorrow. I think the title race is certainly dead and buried, and that's a good thing. Yeah. But just seeing what happens with the other spots in Champions League and Europa and all that, it's going to be fun to see how that plays out. And I think I mentioned this in Discord the other day. I think these Europa League knockout matches are going to be great. I think there's some good football to be played down there. And listen, it's not us, so I don't care too much. But as for a casual fan, I think it's going to be fun to watch some of this.
How much does it suck for United that they got AC Milan?
Well, they're going to miss Zlatan, I think, which is too bad. I think he's hurt or banged up, or he's emceeing a pile show or something like. What's the Europa?
Called the Golasso show?
Eurovision.
Oh, Eurovision.
Right? He's like the MC for Italian Eurovision or something like that.
That's what's up.
So, God bless. I mean, that's where. I mean, we'll see. But I'm excited. I think that's gonna be good. And the other thing is, I love rewatching these city matches. You watch the game, and then they're on in the morning. You do what you got to do all day, all night, and then there's nowhere to go at night. You can't do anything or go anywhere. So before you go to bed, you watch the match again, and it's so enjoyable to see guys playing great football, kicking ass, taking names. All of us, I think, as City fans, should just soak it in while we can. This is something incredible, and we should enjoy it.
Yeah. Speaking of Champions League, we kind of briefly touched on it earlier. How are you genuinely feeling about our chances this year in the Champions League?
I'm optimistic, but I also don't give a shit. It would be great to win it. It would be great to win it. If it doesn't happen, if we take the cup and we prevent Spurs from winning their first trophy and we win the Premier League, so we do another triple, I'll be pretty happy. Everybody else can piss on it. I don't care what anybody else says or thinks about it. If we do a triple this year, God bless. That's another notch on our belt. I'm all right with it. And if we do it, even better. That's awesome. I'll be the first one cheering, jumping down, and pull my kid up to see it on TV because it's never been done before. But I'm not going to let that make or break this season. What's happened has been too much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like you don't want to get too hung up on the Champions League this year because of everything we're doing, right? Like you said, if this ends up with us doing another treble and another domestic treble, and however long this run goes, the fact that we're already at 21 is nuts. If this gets stretched out to 25 or some stupid number like that, this season is such a, especially with what Pep's done through the injuries and all that, this season is such a massive positive in the club's history that you can almost look past the Champions League stuff. So ahead of the derby, everyone's talked about it, but how are you thinking Pep is going to go about setting up the side against United?
So it's a great question. I think having my perspective of Pep and how he goes about this is he competes every single day. He wants to win every single match. He rarely. I think the only exception to that may have been that first Champions League match against Tottenham a couple of years ago in London, where he like rejiggered some things and kind of changed his, maybe overthought it or changed his style.
Right.
But generally, he's out there to compete and win a match, and I'm expecting this tomorrow. I feel good about it. You know, I have my brother's a rag, so he roots for United, and we bet a nice bottle of whiskey for every match. And so I look at my chops, but then I also look back on the last couple of years, and I have not won nearly as much whiskey as I should have in the last 3 or 4 years. But there's a dent in my bank account that should not be there. So I could see Sunday being an ugly match, but I'm confident. I'm not worried about it. We could embarrass them, or we could squeak out, or it could be a draw. Like there's 2 or 3 different variables that can happen on that. But I am not. Your question was, how do I feel about it?
Yeah,
I'm simpatico. I feel good. I'm tranquilo.
There you go. What do you think? So, no one. I don't think anybody suspects Pep to make some big crazy ass change, but the kind of the main 2 positions that have gone, I think 6 different ways in the show tonight are the striker and the 8 that isn't Gundogan. So who are you playing in the 9? Is this Aguero? Is it Jesus? Are you going with one of the other guys as a false 9?
So I think Pep is going to play a false 9 because I think strategically that's the smart way to do it, to confuse their back 4. And there's 2 center backs. There's no reason to put Sergio up there to do that, because you don't need to. They'll be more successful, I think, if they do that.
Right.
If it was me, I would play Fernandinho. I would play Aguero. This could be their last derby, and that's just how personally how I would do it. I think it'd be awesome to do that, and maybe you could mix in a couple of kids somewhere to like get that mesh of young and old. But Pep's ruthless. He's ruthless, and so he's going to go out there with his best, what he thinks is going to dominate. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Mahrez again, because he played so well the other day. I wouldn't be surprised to see a false 9, maybe Kev is the false 9, playing in the middle. And United and Ole are going to pack it in. They're going to park the bus. There's no doubt about it. And so that's kind of where I was saying before, that it could be like a really ugly kind of match like the first one was, because he's not out. United are not going to do whatever they can not to be exposed.
Yeah. God, it's so funny. Like, even having to try to figure out what Pep is going to do against Ole, because it's obviously the other way around. Like, it's Ole's got to just be up all night from after the last match, so after the Palace match until Sunday afternoon, pulling his hair out, because you're outclassed, both on the touchline, on the pitch, backroom staff, boardroom. He's got no business being where he's at. I don't know. It's just weird being on this side of the.
Well, they're trying to play mind games, right? Like Ollie's out there, like talking to the press and the Chelsea website, all this other stuff that has nothing to do with going on the field. And Ferguson was really good at it. I don't think Ollie learned too much from him. Like he's taking it the wrong way.
Yeah. Okay, give me. We're gonna wrap up here, dude. What's your? Give me your score line.
I'm gonna say 2-1. I think it could be 1-0 too. I think it's a 1-goal thing. I think we could be in for some ugly soccer or football on Sunday. I hope we come out with 3 points, but the last thing United wants to see is to get smoked, and so I think you're going to see them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're physical. You could see some cards on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, especially if Dino's in there.
Tommy could be getting some. I wouldn't be surprised if some United guys even get shown off or something like that. I think it's going to be pretty physical.
Well, I think that's what we want. I think you want the derby to be physical and to mean something to the guys on the pitch. But hell yeah. Well, Conforti, thank you so much for calling in, dude. Appreciate you as always. Enjoy that outstanding whiskey collection you have, and I hope you get another bottle after Sunday, because you deserve it. Everyone, Mr. Conforti from New York City. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, gang, we are closing in on 2.5 hours here. Think we are going to call it a night. I probably need to get some more medication on this eyeball. So that rules. Thank you so much, everyone, for calling in, for watching, for being involved in the chat, taking time out of your Friday evening to even pay attention to this. I appreciate the hell out of you. If you have not already, or if you'd like to, I guess you can become a patron of the show if you like what we do. If you think the things that we do are worth $1 a month, you can go to patreon.com/noisypod and you can support the show. All of that money goes to paying for the show and for paying. It covers us getting more technology and stuff so we can do more cool stuff. We have more plans for the show. We have bigger plans for this show. And thanks to the fine folks like you out there, we've been able to do some upgrades, and there's more down the line. So if you haven't already, head over to patreon.com/noisypod, and you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. If you want to give more than that, that's great too. Again, thanks to Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, use the code NOISYPOD for 20% off and free shipping. It includes international shipping if you want to get anything from them. So yeah, until I think that's it, gang. Hopefully next time you see me, this won't be here and I can look at you with two eyes. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for calling in and for being in the chat. And holy hell, that was a marathon. Alexa, bang on Dua Lipa. And until next time, everybody, ta-ra.